Hey everyone, I'm David Room. Got the day off work today, and I was going to work on my space combat game project. Slept in, ran a couple errands, and I figured I'll just stream a little bit over lunchtime. And yeah, I've got some specific stuff that I want to work on today. So we're going to be working on excuse me. We're going to be working on the component system in the game. So in the game, a big sort of feature or hallmark of these types of games is the ability to customize the ships that you're flying and swap out different parts and weapons, and just the fact that the ships have these components and aren't just simple models or whatever, kind of adds a layer of realism and interest and just makes the world feel rich. So there's a system in the game for doing this, and recently I've started making my models a lot higher detail, and it's time to update the component system to be able to handle and use some of these additional models. So we're going to look at that, some tweaks, maybe a little bit of refactoring and updating, and then we'll probably work a little bit on a couple of the ships, maybe adding more components. I might work on some functionality in the menu system that I need to be able to swap between different ships that you're looking at. So a few different things that we might look at today. So let me just make a tweet saying that I'm live, and then we will get started. Let's see here. So here, say live now. We'll see. I was having some issues with my camera being screwed up. I think I got that figured out. Okay, so oh, nice. Katie is watching. She is out of town today with the kids. All right, so let me actually get a little bit of music going, and then we'll get started. I need to play around with another different music track here, and I need to get my headphones connected. Get some music going here, and just while I'm waiting for things to get set up here, I'll show you kind of what the current situation is and what we're going to try to do. Let's see here. Okay, yeah, let me just check the sound levels. Okay, all right, so the issue is in the game we have this hub area for in-between missions where you can interact with different characters, look at mission briefings, sort of the in-between area. And one of the things, of course, is that you should be able to do here is look at the specs of your ship and look at different components and things like that. So this is going back, I think over a year now. I started building these screens, and I just built something really basic here where you can just cycle through the different components and highlight them. And this is just using the HUD layout that's used in the game, but we could come up with a different layout for these things at some point. And just shows data about the different components that you have highlighted, and then you just cycle through. And actually, you could just do free flight here. This same system also works during the game. You can, actually just show it. It should work while the game is paused too. So there's specs mode where you can cycle through, and then in this mode is kind of cool. It does this neat interpolation to give you a good view of each component. I forget exactly how it determines what coordinate system or what angle it should use, but it's doing quaternion and slurp in between them, so that was kind of fun to write. It was the first occasion that I had to actually do quaternion slurp for the game, so that was kind of fun. Alright, so yeah, so what we want to do here, the thing that's missing now is I started adding shield rings as actual models on the ships, and those shield rings are, in my world, they're like what generates shields. So when I first built this, I just had the model of the shield itself, like the generated shield manifold, as what gets highlighted in specs mode. I want to change that to be the shield rings. And I'm actually going to switch to a different model because, or ship model, because this one is a little bit out of date, and that might be something that we fix during this too, is fixing the shield rings on that particular ship. So let me see here. Yeah, this is, so I'm going to swap out for the Spire, which is the newest ship that I've been working on, and it looks like this. So the mapper array is correct. The drives are pretty much correct. That's the thrusters. Yeah, but then we want to highlight those actual shield rings. So yeah, let's take a look at doing that. So one of the first things that we're going to need to do is, okay, so we've got some interesting questions here. So Fuller Thomas LC asked, when playable demo? I'm not sure. So originally when I started this project, I thought maybe I'd have a playable demo at the end of the year. Of course, scope creep happened. This was back in 2021 when I started this. It's now 2024. I'm going to have a playable demo by the end of the year this year. That being said, this is a fun side project of mine, and there are a lot of goals here beyond just getting something out for people to play. It's kind of a platform for testing some ideas about space combat for my sci-fi world that I have. It's also a springboard for high detail art. So priorities shift as things happen, so we'll see. Okay. So the main data structure for the ship holds these different things, and the main thing that I want to do here is I probably am going to want to get a model here into shield info. Just like weapons have a model info, missiles have a model info. Before I do that though, I'm just going to double check how the code the code works again for the components, because I want to remind myself of that, and then we'll make that update. So the function that actually constructs the ship models that are used in the game is this function. We have these lists of components, and then we extend the different types of component lists with things. So I think what we're going to want to do here is we're going to want a entities and components. Yeah, so here I think we're going to need to add the shield models to this. So we're going to need to do a model load func on the shield model rather than having those things be brought in underneath something else. So let's take a look. Let's take a look at that. I'm gonna bring up the. So I use these YAML files to describe the ships, so I can easily edit them. So let's see if I look here at shields. Shields I'm inheriting from the template, so I'm going to redo that. And this I'm grabbing from a template too. So I have this template system, so I don't have to rewrite everything, but in this case, yeah, in this case, we're gonna start. Yeah, so let's update shields. Those templates is shield. And then we'll execute different multi-M shield. We'll execute different updates on this to update the model once we have it. And then if we go in here, whoops. So let's take a look at this. So we're gonna have to add models here. And let's just dive in and start doing that. I'm fairly confident that this is the road that we want to go down, so I'm going to do that. We're also going to have to update, we're potentially going to have to update the shields for the carrier in our example, because the carrier that you're inside is actually another ship too, and it's going to have the same data structure, same expectations about what's there. And the model's going to be optional, so we don't necessarily have to have model name for the other ones. Let's see, what's my convention? Name type, manufacturer, mass. Okay, cool. So I should actually have a mass for the shield as well, which makes sense. So that's going to be a float. So we'll have 2 additional I always do. Doesn't matter. There's only a handful of places in the code where any of these objects are actually constructed with code, and they're always constructed with named parameters, so the actual order of the arguments doesn't matter too much here. And let's just try, we'll first just try to get things to run again after we make that change, because that's going to break stuff. Yep. So we've got to add a mass. I'll just say 200, and model. We'll just add a null model for now. Now I think, unless something is terribly wrong, that should. Nope, that didn't load either. So maybe. Oh, that was the VM11 shield. Okay, so this is, I think, the big one. No, that's a tiny one. I really need to fix the fix all the stats for these things. All right, yeah, there we go. So things are loading again, and of course that still works the same. So let's add the shields now to the YAML for the Spire. So, so we will start with this template, and let's see, I don't think we want to update. I think we can actually just do model is going to be info, and file name is part, and it's going to be Spire shields. And let me just check that. Parent shields, yeah. So that should pull in all of the shields. And then we're gonna have to update the livery here too. Oh, this needs to be outdented. Okay. Now when we run this, we should see those shield rings disappeared from the... Yep. No, they're still there. Oh, I know why. I need to exclude them from the oh, that's weird. Oh, I know why. I added them here. That's right. So we get rid of them there. I was thinking about making them a different color originally. Okay, yep. So now they're excluded from there. And then we'll come back in here. And then there's going to be, we're also going to have to update something else because I have another process by which I can export and load ships in as they would appear in the game in Blender. And that's going to have to be updated for this change too. But that'll be pretty easy to debug. Okay, so I think all we have to do is in here, we have to do something like this. So here, we are constructing the actual like shield, which is the actual, I'm going to call that the shield manifold. And versus the shield generators. So for the shield generators, this should work basically just like this, where we extend with the and shield info. Info.model, right? And we're reparenting that to comps, and this is getting yeah, so okay. So now let's see if we run this. Oh. Okay. So I think, yeah, we can't have model info be none. So how do I handle that? Oh, I think there is an if statement elsewhere. Or actually, for the other ones, there's always a model, right? We don't always have. We know that if we have a component, we have a model. Let's just allow the shields to not be that way. Just for now, because I don't have shield rings for a lot of ships. Shield info dot model is not none. Then we'll do this. Now we don't want this here. Actually, yeah. So what we want here is instead. So maybe we want to do something like this. So after we construct the shield manifold, then we can say if the model is not none, then we will use the generator models. Otherwise, we'll do what we did before, which is using the using the yeah, okay, and this is something that should change. So here we're using the actual shield object. So in my game I have I have corresponding objects. I've got info, which is kind of like the separate from game stuff that just describes stats, and then the non-info version, which is like the actual thing that has game state in it. And here it seems like for most of the components we are making this tuple that has the info. When I think we want the yeah we are gonna want the TDS version of everything. Shield, yeah, we're gonna want a shield info, so that is gonna break something too. Got some comments in the chat. TW Fuller says Wing Commander 1, 2, and 3 thumbs up, Wing Commander 4 thumbs down. You know, the only Wing Commander that I've actually played any amount of is a spin-off called Wing Commander Privateer. That was kind of a fun game I used to tinker around with. I've since gone back and watched a lot of playthroughs of those games, and I kind of agree with your take. It seems like the first few are pretty cool, and then it's as they went on, they just leaned really hard into the cinematics, and the story wasn't really anything to write home about. So, but I would still like to play through them someday. I've got kind of a retro rig set up. I'm hoping to be able to do some of that stuff soon. Okay, so yeah, so this, I think, either way, okay, I'm just gonna keep the original. Yeah, TW Flare says 4 was just a movie. I'll look for Privateer. Yeah, Privateer, I want to say it's like the same engine as Wing Commander 2 or 3. And it's a lot more like a game like Elite, where you can go around and trade goods and like take missions and stuff. When I was playing it as a kid, for whatever reason, I always had trouble like gathering the reward for a mission, so I never was able to progress in it. Like, I'd go complete a mission and then I never would get the money for it. So it was still fun to play around with, though. I'm gonna try it again one of these days. So yeah, we're gonna do the info here, and this is gonna break a few things, but it's the right thing to do, because all of these guys, whenever we're appending to components, they're the info version. Okay, so let's try this. Actually, I'm gonna bring up the specs, because we almost certainly broke stuff with that shield thing. And these are all should take infos. How is this working with the shields? Okay, yeah, there we go. This is the logic. So if it's not any of these, then we pull out the info. Oh, okay, so I am actually putting... I do want to actually pull out the... Let's see, what am I using? Comp, base, and P. Why am I doing this? It's kind of dire here. Let's see. Let's just do this. So non-infos. So this is just kind of selecting whether or not I'm expecting this to be the info object or not, and then pulling out the info. And I'm gonna make that clear here. So I'm gonna call this comp info, otherwise info equals comp, and then use comp info here. And I don't think... Oh yeah, so this is not other infos. Yeah. I think we're gonna have to add shield to this. Shield info. I should actually, for clarity, I should update these to have info suffixes. So I'm sure this made a lot more sense a few months ago when I wrote it up the first time. So I'm gonna just make a note of that over here in my work log before we go on. Okay, let's see if this works. This hypothetically will work. So, when we look at the external view now, we see the shield rings. They're not painted properly because we haven't updated the livery to reflect the change in hierarchy, but that's okay. Now let's see. Yep, there we go. So there, the shield rings are selected instead of the actual shield. Awesome. That is just what I want. So let's fix the livery now, and then we'll do some of this other cleanup that we were talking about. So livery is the way that I specify like what colors things are. So I think if we do info shields 0 model material is matte gray less, that should paint up the shield rings. And actually, yeah, we can experiment with that, but yeah, they're gray now. So yeah, sweet. All right, so that kind of went just how I thought it would. So while I'm thinking of it, let's clean some things up here a little bit. I gotta think, do I actually want to... Yeah, I do want to do an info suffix on all of this stuff, because I don't really want to add a state suffix on the stuff that's in the game. already have info on half of this stuff. Let's just go through and do it. And that's gonna make things a lot more clear here. So we'll just do a little bit of refactoring. So info. Oh yeah, and then next we have to fix how things are being loaded for Blender. And actually, it's good that we're doing this info refactor before that, because that'll make that less confusing. So when I do this renaming here, it should be renaming it throughout the code base. I hope it is. See, ship info. Shield has a shield info. Let's see what. State load. Oh, there's actually, we might have to update a bunch of our templates too. Yeah. So this is funny. It's beginning to come back to me why I hadn't done this before. No. Okay, so we're gonna have to. This probably isn't going to be too bad because it's mostly in let's see, so class light class see how fast I can do this. So that's a definite replace all, and I'm just going to keep running until we can fix this. So for this, whoops. This was the right time to do this because this process of updating these templates is going to get a lot more involved once I update the game data more for different types of things. Whew. think. Luckily, this is just kind of annoying and not like not scary. And this will actually do a lot for the clarity of things, so I'm glad to be making this change. Okay, cool. So we're back up and running again. And yeah, everything seems like it's working. I should actually just fly once here, see if there's any issues with flight. Yeah. Okay, cool. So now that that's done, I'm gonna fix how things are being loaded in Blender. So if I run scenario viewer right now, it probably will either crash or it won't show the yeah. So oh, and that's gonna we gotta go back and fix a couple of these things. Flight info. No. Now I've done it. So this should be set on hold. This is a good integration test for this stuff. Okay, so it looks like it's gonna run, but we're probably gonna be missing the shield models. Yep. So that's what I expected. Now we just have to update this to kind of have similar logic to what we did here in state load for the ships. So let's take a look at that. So we're using a function called ships dict to models, ship config entity. So this takes the game entity and builds the hierarchy of models for Blender. So ship config, given the info, and export ship models. So thruster system, sensors, turrets, shields. Okay, so there's the shield model. And then we've just got to do the same thing for, yeah, so there's the shield manifold, and we're going to add manifold here. Manifold. And pick component model. I think we can just do component model, right? Yeah, component model. So we can do config equals generators. So config equals component model. Shield and children. All right, let's see if that does it. That should do it. Oh, none type. Yeah, we just got to handle that being none, and we'll get rid of this none check eventually. So if config or actually no, yeah, if shield dot, oh geez, this is wrong. Shield, yeah, that should be a shield info, not a shield. It's like the new version of PyCharm just seems to really struggle with types that it didn't before. None. That's weird. Okay, yep, and there are our parts. So we've got the shield, and then if we open this guy here in, yeah, so there's the shield manifold, which is hidden right now. So I think that kind of takes care of that change. So that wasn't too hard. So the next thing, I guess, is to just fix a couple other ships that already have shield ring models for, and there's just a couple, so we'll do that now. So so we'll exclude the shields, keep the shields excluded there. Sensors, drive system, shields. Yeah. Weapons. This will be model, and let's is and default is that. actually, we're going to want the BM11 for both of those. Now the other thing that I wanted to do is I wanted to move the so the model is going to be a I wanted to move these are actually not going to be thrusters anymore, but part of the shield system. So I've got to rename them, but they can go here like this. And so I'll just, I really don't like a lot of things about YAML syntax, but it's just so nice to have a configuration language that you can have comments in, especially if you're trying to do things. You're trying to do things that are human edited. Oh, templates. Okay. Something that's supposed to be in model info is none here. Not seeing it. I'm guessing it has to do with these guys. Oh, yeah, there it is. Stupid stuff like that makes me not like YAML. Oh. That's interesting. I was not... Ah, okay. That's actually what that's correct. It's not a bug, because that's part of the shield system now, and these things are deriving from that, so I need to set the model to none for their shield systems quick. So the needle, it's really good. Some really good changes today that we're making here. Don't have a YAML for that guy yet. I originally had everything in this JSON file. And then moving to YAML. So do the equivalent of this. So shields list. See, I like this nice type. I like the syntax of JSON that's very specific, but it just, you can't, it's not, it wasn't intended to be human readable, so you can't put comments in it. Okay. And actually, yeah, there's probably going to be other ships that have this. Have that issue too, yeah. Is whatever descends from, whoops. This is yeah, it's exciting to see some of this stuff coming together. Okay, so looks like we still have to fix the owl. It's looking good. All right. Let's just take a look at a few of these. Ships here now. So we've got, whoops. There's a little bit of a bug here in this specs viewer that I wanted to fix too. And then we'll probably call it a good lunch break. Yeah, okay, so that's the bug that I want to fix. When we don't have any components in a category, the specs viewer crashes. Okay, so fix. And oh yeah, okay, so we got to update the livery for this guy now, because we've got and I'm just gonna update the one set right now. I got to figure out a better abstraction for this, where I sort of like have a list of colors, or a list of categories, and then you can map the colors on. So like it needs another layer of abstraction here. Okay, so let's take a look at this. So get rid of that, and then we want to add info, shields, 0, model, children, actually model, and matte black. Whoops. Key 1, not in. Oh yeah. Oh, yeah. So that's, now we can just do this. Look at how much nicer that is. Oh. It's just... Oh. There we go. Okay, that's a dumb error message. I'll have to fix that. And okay, so I think maybe I actually do have to go. Oh, yeah, cause these are overriding things. See, I'm starting to put the pieces together. All of this stuff works just like I want, but I don't. So I was running into issues with how the parts of the hierarchy were being colored. But that's because I'm actually explicitly setting the colors. That's why they're getting overridden. Or maybe I'm wrong. Okay, that takes care of that. And yeah, okay, there's another, yeah, I've got too many levels of indirection, I think. Let's take a look. Yeah, awesome. That is just what I want. Okay. Let's take a look at the next one. That is not correct, but that is okay. Kind of know what the problem is there. Whoops, yep, and there's that division by 0. Let's fix that division by 0 issue. So basically, if count equals 0, I think that's all that takes actually, is if count equals 0, then yeah, actually yeah, count is not equal to 0. That would be funny if that's it. Yeah, it's funny. Okay. The robotic arm doesn't fit very well around this ship. Okay, so yeah, there are a couple issues left with certain models of ships, but we got the basic idea going here, which is that shield generators are now shown in the component view, and we did a lot of refactoring to get that to work, which is going to help out in the future as I make some of these other fixes. That looks really cool. Now, actually, I'm not sure. I do have info for the drives and the thruster system and the shields, so I'm not sure why that's showing. So that will be something to investigate as well. All right. Well, I think we're gonna call it good here for today. Maybe I'll see if I can capture a little movie of what we did and upload it to Twitter. But yeah, thanks to everyone who stopped by. It's fun having people in the chat while I'm working on my projects, and stay tuned. I've got some neat stuff in the pipeline here for more live streams about my project, so stay tuned for that, and see you next time.